tonight. Tips and tricks on how to cook. Tips and tricks on how to cook perfectly. I'm not cooking. Tips and tricks. Now, tips and tricks you need to know when you are cooking. Cooking is a crazy thing, and it's very awesome doing it too. But you need to know the perfecting way to cook your meals. You can't just sit there being like, okay, you need to know how to use knives. You need to know how to cook. You need to know how to do everything correctly if you want to know how to cook. So, the first tip and trick is you're going to want to get one big knife. Now, knives are not as they seem. They are the most dangerous items to be touched. They can be severe injuries, and they can also cut off a finger. But is there more to cooking? Well, it's not. This is like 5 point. It's not like 5 things to do it. Yeah, there's a lot more to cooking than just my life is over. Let's go start up a business. You need to know how to cook food if you want to start a business. Okay, thank you. Happy Halloween. Now, the first tipping trick is you're going to want to know how to cut with your knife. Now, knives these days are very sharp. And you're going to need to know how to do this. That you need to know. You also need to know how to cut stuff properly. Let's take this tiny tomato. Now, as you can see, tiny tomatoes are just very tiny. People just cut them like through the center. Wrong! You need to cut them sides. You want to cut the tomatoes by the sides, because that's where the most tomato is. And if you don't know how to do that, you can cut from the side by holding your hand. If you're not comfortable by doing this, you still want to cook. You're going to need some, you could go to cooking classes. That's how you can learn better. Now you have to learn how to pick up stuff with your tomatoes. Now we are approaching this, so we are actually, you're not making it. Now you're going to need to learn a lot more. Now, cooking is meaning to make a really good dishes. It's true, right? But there's not always awesome stuff. You need to learn how to do it itty-gritty. So, you're going to want to put your thing right here. Let me just point down the camera. Now, I'm going to find one very special tool. Now, special tools involve in lots. Of different items. So, let's go into Pacific. Now, cooking is still good, right? But you want to learn how to bar? Like, do you want to learn to actually, work hard? Boom. You got the right guy. So, when you are cooking, you need to find a perfect item. So, tips and tricks. Yay. Today, on Banish, we'll be cooking a roasted apple. Roasted apples are the most famous. Special ingredients. Special stuff. Now, roasted apples can be very hard if you don't know how to work on them. So, you're going to first want to cut off the centimeter top. That is what happens when you cut. Now, you're going to want to get, this is like an egg thing. You're going to want it to cut a tiny bit of on the top. Make a tiny indentation inside of this. And you're gonna make a tiny indentation. Now you are not gonna be cutting the actual apple. You're gonna make tiny slight holes inside of the apple to give it air and water inside of the apple to clean it up. Now you're gonna wanna cut off the stem. You do not want the stem in your food. Then while that's going, you're just going to start slowly approach it. So don't do like that. Make a tiny indentation. And if it's too good, that means it's good. After that, chug, 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 chug. Boom, 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 boom. After that, grab a towel. And that is it. Drop it down. Okay, while the water boils, you're going to you're going to want to cut anything that could get into your food, because everything boils. So do not think this one part of the apple boils. Half the whole apple boils. I'm going to sort of cut side to side. And you need to make sure you have the knife lined up with your fingers. Make sure your fingers are completely sort of. And then get out the tiny stem. Did you know stems are inside of this? Stir it like this. I'll remove the whole top layer. Now remove the whole top layer. If you didn't know, you could do this with a knife. It's called scrapping. It's where you get out part of the apple. After you get out the stem, this is a whole big stem. Now that's how you get it out. Now, time to pour it with seasonings. You're going to want to pour it with a tiny touch of salt. And put some nuts inside of it. This is how you do make it, guys. This is not a joke. Put this inside of it. Stuff the nuts inside of the apple. Close that up. The water is boiling a tiny bit, so yeah. Boom, boom. You can make bunches of these. You don't have to do just one. Poke a hole through it. Poke a couple holes through the apple. And now you have this sort of white, yellow snowball with seeds inside. Water looks like it's boiling. And anything that you can think of on top doesn't really do anything. Now, add a little bit of salt into the water to make, salt water. Then, drop it in. Now, there you go. So, drop it in. Drop in the apple. Now the apple, look at this TT. This is how you make a roasted apple. No, it's just an apple. No, now you need to pour water on top of it. Now, let me go into the script of why you need tinfoil around the apple. Well, while we wait while that cooks, let me tell you why. So, you need tinfoil to actually clean up the food. The food keeps in the seeds, so all the water will, inside of these mini holes, those will all go in and they'll cook up the apple. And I'm not saying you don't have to do this. This is just an easy job, and even kids can do this if they're like, but under adult supervision. But kids can easily do this if they are one to cook and they have time to do it. This would be totally for them. You could easily cook this apple because you don't have to make just one. You can make bunches of these apples. That does not stop there. That's how you make a triple egg. Put in the egg. Now, drop in an egg. Drop in an egg. And we're not going to actually fully cook this egg. To make sure the apple's fully away from it. Now the egg's going to slowly cook, and then you can see what happens if we do this. Now you're going to want to level up a bunch of different salt. Now the salt is different. We're going to get salt water. Which will equal as getting salt water. So if you stir up this around, the egg will start cooking, and the apple is going to start, roasting. So with the holes we made inside of the tinfoil, that will allow the water to go inside and cook. Now you're going to need to keep a good eye on this, because if you press water with a little bit of salt, it will equal something as called salt water. Stir it up, blah blah blah.
Did you say stir it up, blah blah blah?
And this is how you make a roasted apple. You have to put tinfoil around it. Whoa! We got water in the fire. Now you do not want to have that much fire in the water because that could be severe on stuff. But you do need to be careful. Now you need to pour water and water all over this thing. And if we go down to the egg, it's cracking because, first of all, duh, but yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Now, this is the way to receive an apple from the professionals. And you do not have to go through it this way. Get one of these, and then get an egg out of the mix. Then you have yourself a clean, well done egg. Now we are approaching this. Now you're going to drench that in salt. Put it in, boom, drop it in. Very getting heated up in there. Now, it's really boiling now, so the apple inside of this stuff is now really cooking. You don't really know that, but if you just keep it underwater, that's just going to sort of if you put the spatula under it, that will consume the air, so it won't cook. So, you are going to want to just sort of move this stuff around as much as you can. The egg needs to stay in here until it is ready. You need to be very careful with this thing because this could severe and stuff. So you do not really want to hurt this thing because the apple is in there. So, and the peanuts are roasting and getting all that flavor. So now it's really smoking now. So when it's starting to smoke and really boil, that means the apple's gonna start cooking. Now, whoa! Now, get your handy dandy spatula About that. And bang, 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 bang. There you go. There's the egg. Boom. Bang. Special cracker. And there you go. Roast. As you can see. Now, it is very, very hot, so you do not want to touch it. Now, this is a roasted egg. Now, as you can see, you're starting to hear it. Now, this is when the water is really boiling. This is when it's going to start consuming. It's actually taking the roasted apple down under the waters. This will actually sort of clean it all up, and it will also start roasting it. Now, while that's doing it, let's crack open this baby. Now, let's start cracking this baby open. Now, you can see like a tiny bit of watery stuff in there, but that's slowly approaching. Now, if you crack your way through the egg down to the yolk, you'll get something sort of like a drink. You don't really want to do this that much, but it has to be done, right? Now, if you do this, you'll get a watery type fluid, and that you really don't really want specifically. Now, if you clean out the egg, get all the moisture out of it, you'll get something that's pretty cool. You clean out the egg and sort of cool it down to the point that it just doesn't do anything anymore. You can sort of get this cool shell that is very easy to crack. So let's see. And if you keep that, you can keep some egg, and it's a very cool illusion. Okay, let's stop messing around with foods. Let's get to business. So, that was really how you could really actually just make like a cool trick. So let's just start cleaning up this stuff. 30 seconds later. Okay, that wasn't actually 30 seconds, but it probably was. I was just trying to clean up the egg, because you don't really need egg all over the place. Now, you can put away all the stuff you already had out, because you really don't need this stuff. You can just put all the stuff away, because this is the thing that you really need. So, this is the apple, guys. Now, the outside is going to start roasting, so the water is below 15 degrees. So if you take it out and put a bunch of salt in it, it will probably dissolve it in 4.5 minutes. Now this stuff is extremely hot. So if you pour it in with an egg, that will cook it all up probably. Now the water, guys, is completely boiling. Now the roasted apple is very cooking right now. So all of the tin foil that we put around it, all the tin foil that we put all around it will really cook. So as you can see, this is it. So now where the peanuts are, the peanuts in there are now the shell of it. Yes, it's getting very hard and it's melting onto the apple. Now, how you do this is it's almost going to be done in maybe a couple more minutes. Now the apple inside, those indents that we made inside of the apple with the knife, you're going to want to make another indentation on the top. That will allow more water to proceed inside of the apple to cook it all up. Blah, blah, blah. So it's very, not too complicated, but it's very hard to get right. Now, you do not have to just make one. You can make like 200 of these things and get them correctly. Look at this, guys. I got one other apple. Poke one hole, another hole, one other hole, one other hole, one other hole, and one other hole. Boom, 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 boom. One of these. Rip it off. Wrap it around that thing. wrap it around that apple. Boom. Drop it in. Now you got two. Now you got two. Now you can sort of see like the apple in there, but inside of this thing's completely covered. But that has been boiling for a while, so this other apple, so you can make as many as you really desire. There's 2 whole apples in here, and what happens is all the water goes, I can see it right now, all the water goes inside of the apple, and all the indentation that we made inside of the apple before we put tinfoil on it, that all the water sucks inside to the center, and it sort of like heats it up to over 150 degrees. When you see like these tiny bubbles, that means that it is working. Now if you flip over the one we just made, it is getting sort of cooked. Now, the moment of truth. Clean out your tiny pasuber. Put it here. If you sort of clean off that waters. Flip it around. There it is. There's its beauty. That is the roasted apple right here in contact. Here's the roasted apple. Now, if you touch this, you'll automatically sort of get shocked with burn. Because it is over a lot of degrees Fahrenheit. So, you're going to cut open this thing. Now, warning. When you cut open this thing, it is over a lot of degrees Fahrenheit. Like, some scientists think these things are really hot when you do this. So, my viewer discretion to do this, just not a big deal, not a huge deal. Well, my big discretion, my thinking was what is very smart. What is really smart is that you could easily put a very hot apple right straight in the ice, and you just sort of just dip it inside of some ice, which would actually sort of cool it down. Now let's check on our other apple. So I think the apple has sort of cooled down a tiny bit. But it's not done yet. You now need to put a bunch of ice all over it to make sure. If you put a tiny bit of salt on it, if it doesn't melt, that means it's pretty cool down. So, now let's rip open this thing and reveal what happened. The apple is now roasted, but this is over a couple hundred degrees. Now, as you can see, the apple has completely changed color. The apple has completely changed color. All the peanuts have officially been roasted while in the middle of that. So some of these peanuts have even been burnt. Now some of these peanuts haven't really been burnt, and you can still eat them. But let's just take all this stuff out. So the apple itself, it's very, very easy to open. And the apple is still very healthy and really nice to eat. Now the roasted out, it is not brown, that means it's not burnt. And when it's not burnt, that means you have successfully roasted yourself a fresh apple. Now, you do not have to stop there. We have a lot more tips and tricks to do. So, these things become very, very very squishy because they're in there so long. Now, if you see so much foam in there, that means we need to start doing it, because that means that stuff is happening that you only want to know. Now, let's take out this bad boy. take out this bad boy and drop it into ice. Boom. If you really want to, well, take the apple and go drop it in the snow. That's the most easiest thing. That's like the easiest way on doing it because it just hits the cold air and it battles against it. Just open it up and drop it in. So it might sort of like melt the snow a tiny bit, but because that's very hot. Now, it's been like 24 seconds, so I think we can try it. Okay, baby. Come on, apple. Nice. The apples are over very cold. Now the apple's like a snowball. To cool it down, drop it into the ice. That will sort of take off a lot of the extras. Now you drop it in there because it's very easy. So now you're gonna want to sort of like clean it off the time to get all the snow off it. Rip it open. Boom, 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 boom. And there you go. Roasted fresh. Fresh apple has been roasted. Look at that. Look at that. Automatically just changes colors every time it's in there. Now, here's some other tips and tricks on how to do this. Now, we're going to start cooking. Now, you can do this with all apples. Not just one, not just two. No, you could do a whole bag if you needed to.
Jimmy, don't waste all the apples.
Okay, 2 more. So, as you can see, there's 2 whole apples. And I'm not kidding. These apples are nuts. Now, this stuff... Where's my spatula?
Shut that door, though. It's cold.
Now, the spatula is like a complete disaster, but it can easily be cleaned by that. Now, time to actually start doing it. Enough wrapping to cover a house. And we're gonna get even more. Okay. The knife, bang, cut it through. Boom. Bing, 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 bing. Now do it with the other one. Bing, 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 bing. Okay? Bing and bing. So then, wrap it in, put this. I almost said toilet paper. So you're gonna just wanna cover it, cover it, do. Cover it, do. Second one. Do. Now, a tiny indentation. And then bang, drop it in. The ice is just going away. Now, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I wish you guys a safe and fantastic rest of your day. And I will catch you guys later in a brand new video. Stay tuned. So thank you all so much for watching. I wish you guys a safe and fantastic rest of your day. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Not tomorrow, I mean later. I don't know. You know what? Just don't tell Katie. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys later.